Hi, my name is Al. I'm a second year medical student at University College Dublin in Ireland, and this video today is about 7 options you can take if you don't get into medicine the first way around. So that's right, like through the undergraduate. I just want to say, if you didn't get into medicine the first time around, like it really isn't the end of the world. There's so many different ways you can get into medicine or be in like a healthcare setting, which like I didn't even know about until I started doing all my research for this video. So honestly, like don't worry about it. You know, we'll get you sorted through this video. The 7 different options I'm going to talk about are: number 1, reapplying; number 2, studying abroad; number 3, transferring from another course; number 4, doing biomedical sciences, because there's actually only 3 biomedical sciences courses in Ireland in which you can actually work in a hospital as a medical scientist. I've lost count. I think number 5, graduate entry medicine; number 6, mature entry into medicine; and number 7, doing a physician associate program at RCSI. Yeah, so there are timestamps, and also if you have any questions at the end of the video, feel free to message me. For most of the topics there will be sort of more in-depth videos on each, if that makes sense, but we're just going to quickly run through them today. That's okay. So number 1, reapply. So either it was the HPAT or the Leaving Cert that let you down on results day, you're going to have to retake the HPAT because it only has a validity for a year. It's a really common option. A lot of people on my course actually reapplied, so like don't worry at all about being in the minority or like worrying that you're going to be a year older than everyone or anything, because like a lot of people reapply, and I think age is something like you don't really realise once you're in university, just because like for example, like I only realised that one of my best friends was like 21 like the other day, because I don't know, you're all together, you're all in the same like atmosphere, and I don't know, I feel like, you know, age is like kind of like a secondary school thing. Like there's a 27-year-old in my course and also a 16-year-old, and then we all get along fine, so I think one really important thing is to sort of reflect, because there's no point redoing a whole year if you're not going to change like tactic or change, you know, the way you revise or something along those lines, because like you're just gonna get the same result if you don't change anything, and then you've just wasted a year. And you know, as that, before you sort of discount reapplying as well and be like, oh, I'll just take a degree and I'll do graduate entry medicine and then take the GAMSAT, I'm just gonna like put it out there that the GAMSAT is like a 9-hour exam. It's like 5.5 hours, but if you put in breaks and stuff, it's like a whole day affair, whereas the HPAT's only a 2.5-hour exam. So I don't know what you know, definitely take that into the factor. The GAMSAT's probably definitely a lot harder than the HPAT, but you know, I'll leave that to you. Number 2, you could always go abroad for medicine. So obviously across the other side there is the UK, and they have over 33 medical schools and they have pretty good medical programs. The only issue is that it's very competitive, much like Ireland, and they have different admission tests are the HPAT, but they're very similar to it, and they also have their own version of the CAO known as the UCAS. I'll just put all like the deadlines somewhere on this frame, but basically the issue is you're going to have to get your application sorted by mid-October. So the UKCAT is for most of the medical schools except the 7 medical schools which take the BMAT. The BMAT universities I will list on the side. Basically you have to take the UKCAT before you submit your application through their version of the CAO, which is known as UCAS, which means you basically have to take the UKCAT before October. I mean, I'll put all the deadlines on the top, whereas the BMAT, you can either take it at the end of August or in November, or near like the beginning of November. I think it's late, I think it's like October 31st this year, but double check that. So what I'm just trying to say is you're going to have to get most of your application sorted before mid-October, but yeah, and just remember that British medical schools also interview, so once you kind of get through all their cut-off and sort of like, you know, application selection, is that the thing, but like selection process, then you have to interview. And then I think Edinburgh is the only medical school in which you don't have to interview, if I remember correctly. I'm going to make a video on more of that soon because it's quite like pernickety and things like that. There are other medical schools in Europe that teach them in English. I'm just going to put a list of them on the side somewhere. Quickly point them out. Their medical schools that teach them English are in Hungary, Poland, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Italy, Netherlands, Lithuania, Croatia and Latvia. So, right. Number 3, you could always transfer from another course. So So either way, you're going to have to retake the HPAT, but this is kind of recommended if you already had a really high points in the Leaving Cert. It's kind of a thing in UCD that people who did science C degrees in their first year, so like someone who did like science or biomed or pharmacy, we also had nursing, they get to skip pre-med and go straight into first med. Whereas someone who did like commerce or French and then sat the HPAT and did really well have to do pre-med. Personally, I think pre-med's worth it. I know it's an extra year, but because everyone's new and you know, you kind of have that time to sort of like make friends and chill a bit, and I have heard it's harder to go straight into first med because everyone's already been friends, but obviously everyone's really friendly, but that is definitely an option. So yeah.
Number 4, doing Biomedical Sciences.
So I only found out when I was doing research for this, so there's actually only 3 schools in Ireland which are accredited, so you can actually work in a hospital as a medical scientist. What? Why are there so many biomedical sciences courses then in Ireland? I don't know. But anyways, basically these 3 courses are the only ones that are accredited by the Academy of Clinical Science and Laboratory Medicine in Ireland and the Institute of Biomedical Sciences in the United Kingdom. Basically, these are the only courses that have a clinical placement like element to their course, so they're the only ones in which you can like do it and work in a hospital as a medical scientist. The other ones, I assume you have to take another postgraduate degree. But anyways, the ones in Ireland in which the biomedical sciences courses in Ireland in which you can then work in a hospital are the one in DIT, or now known as the Technological University of Dublin, the one in Galway, Mayo Institute of Technology, and the one that's like in a partnership with Cork Institute of Technology and University College Cork. That one you take the biomedical science course and then you have to take a 2-semester clinical placement afterwards, but like, you know, it's like the same thing. So if you still retake the HPAT and you can't get into medicine, or if you then do the like 3-4 years and then take the GAMSAT and you don't get into GEM, at least you're still able to work in a hospital. I mean, you'll still be in that clinical setting, which I think is kind of close to, you know, medicine in a way. Like you'll be working with doctors and things like that. And by doing biomedical sciences, you know, it'll probably be easier to get into medicine because you have a lot of that background knowledge that all the medics have. That is something that's definitely worth a thought. Okay, number 5, graduate entry medicine. So graduate entry medicine is a 4-year accelerated course for anyone who already has an undergraduate degree. Anyone can apply to it. Like, you don't have to have done like science or biomedical sciences or biology. You need to apply for this. And although at UCD you have an option to go into graduate entry medicine at the end of your 3rd year of science, if you sit the GAMSAT obviously and do really well. But the only issue is that you'll only graduate with a general science degree. You won't get like a specific science degree like, oh, I graduate with anatomy and physiology, but you know, it's like a year less. So the only thing with GEM, you have to have a 2-1 or higher in your first degree to apply for it, and you also have to sit this exam called the GAMSAT. There's like a video on it further, which I will link down below. But really quickly, the only medical schools in Ireland which offer a graduate entry medicine are University College Dublin, RCSI, University of Limerick and University College Cork. So obviously Trinity and NUIG, they don't offer graduate entry medicine. However, they do offer mature entry, which is what I'm going to talk about next. And also on the graduate entry medicine, there's also a lot of graduate entry medicine courses in the UK, which also take the GAMSAT, but some actually prefer if you take the UKCAT, the BMAT, or they don't take any admission testing as well. So definitely look into that because there's a lot of courses there, and they're also like, you know, equally as good. So yeah. Number 6, mature entry into medicine. So in Ireland, mature students are anyone who are over the age of 23. So instead of applying through GEM, you could always apply through this route. I know some people who applied the mature entry route for some unis and graduate entry medicine for some unis, you know, whatever works. So as I said before, Trinity and NUIG, although they don't offer GEM, they offer the mature entry route. In UCD, they have this thing called UCD's Access to Science, Engineering and Agriculture course, and you take that for a year and then they reserve 2 places for you into pre-med at UCD. But UCD mature entry is a bit complicated and I would definitely contact the admissions first. Lastly is the Physician Associate at RCSI route. The Physician Associate route is a 2 years master's programme at the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. You don't need to have a 2-1 for this programme, so this is a good thing if you still want to be in like medicine but you didn't get a 2-1 in your undergrad. So the question is, what is a Physician Associate?
Physician associates are people who support doctors in the diagnosis and management/treatment of patients.
They're taught, for example, how to take a history, how to make diagnoses, how to analyse test results, perform examinations. However, as a PA, you cannot prescribe a patient and you always have to be supervised by a doctor. So it's not very big in Ireland yet. It's a very big thing in the States. I think there's something about over 100,000 PAs. And in the UK, I think there's about 1,000 PAs. But it's definitely increasing. It's not like you're doing a degree in which there is no job afterwards. It is like a new program, but for example, RCSI just had its first graduates in June 2018. And they were still able to get jobs. I think they got jobs in Mater Private, Beaumont Hospital and Galway Clinic. So like it is a legitimate thing, like don't worry. But it's definitely worth it, you know, if you're being in medicine is something like what you want to do, you know, as a PA you can still work in surgery, you can still work in hospital, you're part of that multidisciplinary team that helps take care of patients. You just unfortunately can't prescribe. Besides this, there are other medical associate programs known as like the Advanced Critical Care Practitioner and Surgical Care Practitioner and Physician Assistants that allow you to work in a healthcare setting. Unfortunately, obviously, since the Physician Associate thing just came into Ireland like a couple of years ago, it's all relatively new. These other things also aren't really available in Ireland, but there's a lot of courses for this in the UK, although there are postgraduate courses and they do prefer if you have like a healthcare related undergraduate degree first. But it is definitely something that's worth looking into. So those were the 7 options if you don't get into medicine the first way around. I hope they were really helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or Instagram me or whatever. There are more links below on more of the pathways that I talked about. And yeah, I hope everything works out. But just remember, you know, like medicine isn't everything. You know, there are so many other professions that are equally as good and make such a great impact on other people's lives. But yeah, just remember, like, you know, it's not the end of the world, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and it'll work hard. So yeah.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Been trying to get all of you all night.